Moon Mondays, hot tips for the best Mercury retrograde of your life. Why today's full moon is asking you to celebrate instead of commiserate, right? So the sky is falling, Mercury's going retrograde today, right? Tonight's a double whammy. We have Mercury reversing and also the Capricorn full moon. If ever there was a time to relinquish control, it's now. So, what if this Mercury retrograde were about to be the best 3 weeks of your entire life? What if tonight's full moon actually helped you laser focus on everything that you're doing right? If astrology is giving you an insight, validation, and 1,000 aha moments, but awareness alone hasn't done jack to change your life, you're in the right place. I'm Sheridan Semple, founder of Moon Sister Circle, astrologer, life coach, and creator of the three-step astrology in real life method. I help women turn astrology into real life change. So, Mercury's going retrograde, and we have the Capricorn full moon tonight. And Mercury's going retrograde in Cancer, right? So these are opposite signs. So we have the sun in Cancer and the moon in Capricorn, and Mercury in Cancer going retrograde. So Capricorn helps us to build our outer lives that we want. And Cancer reminds us to nurture the inner life that we have. And Mercury is not the bad guy, right? Mercury going retrograde is not a bad guy, right? That's just a lot of old superstition and self-fulfilling prophecies, right? Mercury going retrograde invites reflection instead of panic, right? Seeing Mercury in our rear view mirror helps widen our field of vision. So Mercury retrograde, when that happens, like I aspire to take that whole time and go on a writing retreat, right? That's what Mercury retrograde is to me. It's when we get into our right brain, it's time for reflection and time for our creativity to come forth more. So, if you're saying to yourself, I'm not creative, I'm going to bet you that you're wrong because you may apply your creativity in like your parenting style, or you may do something like different at work from everybody else. You may be the one who gets really creative in solving your own problems, and like all of your friends come to you for help when they have problems. You may curate the best playlists around, or you may add just a little bit of cumin to your egg salad and everybody goes nuts for it, right? You're creating your life, whether you acknowledge it or not. You're human, so by default, you're creating your life. Again, whether you acknowledge yourself for it or not. And I'll just add Capricorn and Cancer, they see you. So tonight's the full moon and it's time to party, right? That's what our ancestors did. They'd bring food and share it, build bonfires, make music, and we would dance the night away, right? Where I'm living, we're in this serious drought in Colorado. So the stage 2 fire restrictions nix the bonfires, but the rest we can do and pull off, right? So just like Cool and the Gang taught us, saying to us, celebrate the good times, come on, right? So somehow modern astrology has become really obsessed with this idea of the full moon as this time for releasing. And that can come tomorrow when the moon starts to shed its light, right? Moving back towards the next new moon. Somehow I think we've like accidentally turned the full moon like cutting loose into this like self-help assignment, right? So the full moon is when we want to let go, when we can just release that white-knuckled control we have over everything for just one night. So what is something that you can celebrate about yourself at this full moon tonight? Right? What are you proud of yourself for? What can you give yourself a little pat on the back for? Mine has been I have basically like stopped streaming TV and have been reading every night for like the past, well, I guess it's over a month now. And so that to me is like gargantuan. This is something I've been trying to do for years. And if I'm really honest, like decades, right? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with watching TV. So don't hear me like shaming or use that to shame yourself. But I write and I love to read, and I have been wanting to read a lot more and watch TV a lot less. And I have had a really hard time making that transition, but I have done it now, and I am really freaking proud of myself. I have read so many books over the last month. My mind is like totally blowing up. So, as I close, I just want to say Mercury retrograde doesn't have to be something that you fear. And the Capricorn full moon doesn't have to become another self-improvement project, right? Break free, free yourself. Let's all free ourselves, right? So we can come back to the grind of growth later in the week. Maybe when we hit July 4th, the US's 250th anniversary, when we can take a little bit of time to try and use our creative minds to find a bright spot amidst this five-alarm dumpster fire of our country right now. You may have to enter the dream realm of like imaginary fireworks, rainbows, and unicorns. But like, what's one positive thing that you can celebrate about where you are, and most importantly, where you are internally? So, again, what if this Mercury retrograde was about to be the best 3 weeks of your entire life? What is something you can celebrate about yourself right now? And where could you give yourself a pat on the back? All right, thanks for being here with me. I'll see you next week.